How we doing, guys? I'm Kevin Shaw, editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. I'm going to take a second and get us up and going. Turns out that the previous link was broken. I tried to set it from my phone. I was traveling all day today. I literally got in just a few hours ago. I shaved and showered about 15 minutes ago, and I've been scrambling trying to get stuff done. So give me about 2 minutes just to get some of the updates here because I'm doing this solo. And we will start today's topic real quickly. We already got 50 people here. Holy cow. Okay, give me one more second. I'm going to put links up to the shop. We have the jerseys for sale. We took $5 off. So I'm going to put up, let's see here. Get your sunset red jersey, misspelled jersey, from the Watercraft Journal exclusively here. All right. And we'll put up a link for this. All right. Add 60% more fuel capacity to your PWC with the Watercraft Journal Auxiliary Fuel System Kit here. All right. Great. I have 0 notes prepared. None. I usually have 3 or 4 Post-it notes lined up on my desk. I came in today from Hebron, Ohio. I was at the National Trails Raceway for a weekend of drag racing and car shows and talking cars for our other magazine, Mopar Connection magazine. And the Mopar Nationals were held at the National Trails Raceway. And I just dropped the cap to my water. Yeah. So I was there all weekend, actually for a lot of the week. Up and at 'em at 4 a.m. on Thursday. Got home just now. So for everyone who feels like this is rushed and not prepared, you'd be correct. So I just got, again, I was trying to thrash to get everything ready. So alas, here we are. And I have to apologize to Chris Stone. Chris Stone was alerting me that the previous live session that we typically tease was broken. The link was broken, and I barked at him because I haven't had any sleep, and I've been living off caffeine again. And I'm kind of a grouch right now. So today's live session might be a little salty. Billy is here, everyone. Hello to Billy. Fantastic. All right. And I see that Billy did another ride, but that's okay because I was gone and I couldn't join him anyhow. But I need to get a good ride in with Billy with the GTX Limited 300 before it has to go back. A little bit of news. All right. So we cut $5 off of the jersey. And so that's a little bit of Biden inflation going the other direction. We wanted to make sure that everyone, that is your 0% inflation discount. Whatever. And so we did that. And let's see, we got that. We got so I'm going out in about a week and a half. No. What's today? 15th. All right. So next week, I'll be riding the new Apex Sea-Doo as well as the Explorer Pro. And that will be, it's going to be a quick one. It's going to be, I think I get less than a day of riding with it. It's just literally what they can give me. They're kind of pulling some strings to make it happen. So I appreciate it. So anytime with it is appreciated. And then, weirdly enough, I got an invite by another agency that works for BRP. And it was about a week and a half ago. And no joke, they invited me to test ride the new Manitou and the Alumacraft boats, which I was like, hey, I would love to. I appreciate the invite. That's fantastic. We're mainly personal watercraft. We don't do a lot of boat reviews, if any at all. So I don't want to be taking anyone else's spot. But, I mean, I'll go if there's room. I'm happy to go. But I think it's like on Lake Michigan or something like that. So I might be trying out these new pontoon boats. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It was just like, okay, cool. So I decided to put enough grease in those PTO sleeves. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's. Oh God, I've been in a car for most of the day. I got a really nice letter from a viewer, and he's a reader and a viewer who lives in Cincinnati. And I was letting him know, I'm like, yeah, I drove through your town today, and he's like, oh, you should have stopped. That's cool. David Pate just summed up tonight's episode. We can all go home now. Well, I'm home. We can all go to bed now because I'm tired. David's right. So I'm going to start this with the little story. I got two stories. Okay. So the richest man I ever met. The richest man I ever met was at my dad's welding shop in Long Beach. And this was decades ago. And my brother, my older brother, who was a partner in the business with my father, was the head foreman. He's still the best, one of the best welders I've ever met in my life. Just really, really skilled. And I don't know what I was doing. I was driving the truck or sweeping the floor or some remedial stupid thing. And my brother goes, hey, you want to meet one of the richest men in Los Angeles? I go, yeah, okay. And here's this little old man. And he's little. I mean, he's probably 5'5". He's a tiny little guy. I think his name was Gus. And Gus is wearing acid wash jeans, like really pale jeans, and a faded t-shirt and some old white Keds. And he's got like, I want to say it was like cream or like a champagne gold Ford Ranger. And I'm talking, this thing was easily mid 80s, if not older. But it looked pretty damn together. I mean, it wasn't immaculate, don't get me wrong, but it didn't look terribly beat up, just looked used. I mean, it had door dings and it had dents and scratches and all the usual wear and tear, but it looked really together. And I started talking to this guy, and he's nice enough, and he's chit-chatting and busting my brother's balls and whatever, and that's the end of it. And he gets in the truck fires right up, and it's carbureted, and it goes whoop, and pulls right out of the parking lot, and off it goes. You hear him shifting gears, and whoop, no funny sounds, no rattles, no nothing. And my brother proceeds to explain to me that this guy came in from the war in the Pacific, and he was, again, very well along in years. And I don't know. I'm extrapolating because I don't remember the details, but he was from like Kansas City or something to that effect. And he came back from the war and saw Los Angeles and all the pretty, sun-kissed girls and on the beach. And he's like, screw Missouri, I'm staying here. So he stayed in Los Angeles, and he took his GI Bill and he bought a little house. And then he had some property behind it, and he built another little house on the back end of the property, split it, started renting that other house out. That was pretty much covering his costs. And he goes, well, hell. So he sold that, and he bought like a little fourplex, and he became his own foreman or his own manager. And he started renting that out, And he took that building and he bought a larger apartment complex, and he bought a larger apartment complex, and he just kept doing this to the point, and if I remember right, Gus owned something like 250,000 individual residences in Los Angeles. And he's well along in years, and his daughter runs a management business and manages all of his buildings and things like that. But this little old man still does maintenance on his smaller properties. And he'd come in with these little rinky-dink little welding jobs, and my brother would be like, the guy would walk in through the door, and my dad's business did some pretty heavy-duty jobs. It wasn't like, hey, bring my mailbox in and weld this up for me. But this guy, sure enough, would bring these tiny little things in, these goofy little projects, and ask my brother to, burn it up. And he'd be like, all right, no problem. So he'd put on table and, arc it up and grind it off and clean it up and say, okay, here you go. And Gus, he'd peel off some cash and, okay, here's $20 or here's $10 or here's whatever. And that was at the door. And my brother being really, really a really good people person. I am not. I do not have the skills. I don't like people. That's why I think this is hilarious that I do this. But my brother Cameron got to know this guy, and he's like, what's your story? And he got it out of Gus that Gus was a billionaire. But Gus literally drove this piece of crap Ford Ranger everywhere. And that was his car. And he lived in one of his units, or he lived in a small little house, and his needs just never matched his income. He just kept accruing income, and he didn't need to go anywhere else. So I laughed because I'm like, man, if I had that kind of cash, I'd be driving this, and I'd drive this, and I did, pipe dream. And I laughed because I remember talking to him another day, and he was like, oh, the truck's great. It's the best truck I've had. Treats me great. He goes, all you got to do is stay on top of the maintenance. And I was like, yeah, but it's a Ford Ranger. And he looked at me like, and? It's great. It's great. And he had absolute contentment with it. But he stayed on top of it. He stayed on top of the wear and tear of a now 40-year-old truck. I mean, I think Gus is long since dead. I mean, he was old when I met him. And I kind of stored that in the filing cabinet in the back of my head. And then getting into cars as a young man and as an adult, I started meeting people who they're like, you can daily drive a 68 RS SS Camaro as long as you stay on top of the maintenance, and you're always checking for leaks, and you're always adjusting, and you're always doing everything you need to do. You can drive that car all day long. Anyone who tells you they ride like crap, or they ride rough, or they don't stop, or they don't go around corners are idiots. They don't know any better. And so I met these guys, and I was like, okay, all right, well, that it's all part of my accruing education. I just started building up this legacy of people that, as long as you stay on top of it and you are diligent, it'll work. It'll be fine. You take care of it, and you take care of your stuff. I get married in 2006. My brother-in-law, really nice guy, very fastidious. All right. He's very particular about the things he likes and how he takes care of his stuff. Brent has almost all of his toys, like action figures and Hot Wheels and all this stuff, from when he was a kid. And Brent's like 4 years older than me. And he's like, hey, I mean, he literally pulled out a Hot Wheel General Lee, and it looked like it came right out of the package. And you look at the stamp date, and it said like 1981. And I'm like, did you even play with your toys? He goes, all the time. He goes, but I didn't sit there out in the asphalt and grind it like those kids who destroy their toys. He goes, I wanted to keep my toys, and I always knew if I took care of my stuff and put it away, I wouldn't lose. Like his little G.I. Joes had all their little accessories and all their little, whatever they came with, backpacks and guns and helmets and all their jazz. And he's like, you just take care of it. And I'm like, log that in the memory bank. So all of this comes up to me. All right. All of this is building up. And this poor guy from the UK emails me this week, or I don't know. He emails the Facebook channel or the Facebook page, and our guys kind of respond back with a generic answer, and he's like, "Okay, that's not an answer." So I write back. What he asks, he's like, "Hey, I'm looking at the FXHO and or the Fish Pro. Which one's more reliable?" That's it. I'm looking at the Fish Pro and I'm looking at the FXHO. Which one should I get? And he hit me at the wrong time, and I had an absolute, well, no, the first time, no. But that question almost always gets the same answer, because I get that question a lot. Hey, which one should I get? Which one's more reliable? Tell me what to get. I don't like that question. That question says, I don't want to think for myself. Just tell me what to do or tell me what to get. And you have free agency. You're an adult. Make an informed decision. I don't want to be responsible for your decisions. I really don't. I don't want people going, Kevin told me to get this, and 5 months later I hate it. So I don't want to be responsible for that. I just don't. So is that covering my ass? Maybe. Is that just I don't like people? Yes. So tonight's theme. Today's episode is brought to you by the letters F and U. So anyways, I respond back saying, we have produced enough video and written content. I said, the Watercraft Journal, in 9 years of publishing, has produced more content for you to make an informed decision than any other outlet available besides the OEs, which, they're going to give you boilerplate. They're going to give you marketing material. I said, you have everything. You have all the tools and resources at your hand through the Watercraft Journal, through me and my team, to make an informed decision. And he writes back, he goes, what a rubbish answer. Rubbish, obviously, you're UK. I'm going to preface something. I can almost always tell where the person asking the questions come from. If you are Australian, it always begins with, hey, mate. 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 Always. Australians always begin with, hey, mate. I don't know any other phrase that begins a sentence more indicative of a group of people than, hey, mate. All right. Josh, smart ass. All right. US and Canada more than US, are typically, when they ask email, when they send an email, when they send a private message, when they send a text, I get them all. When I get those, it's almost almost every Canadian email is, hey, I know you're really busy. I was just hoping, or I was looking at something and I wanted to pick your brain. It's almost apologetic, which I think is hilarious, because all I hear is sorry. But I know they're not saying that. I just think it's great that they preface it that way. And most Americans do the same thing. Most Americans like, hey, I was digging around and I thought, hey, listen, I should just email you. Or I was looking at this and I was curious, or I have a question, and that's about it. Hey, buddy. I'm not your mate, buddy. Buddy, I'm not your mate. Mate, hey, buddy. What was this? There was a sketch that did that, and it was really, really funny. But UK, I think every message I've gotten from the UK is just a demand. It's been a demand. Tell me this. What's this? What should I do? It's not even a question. It's a demand. I don't know what's up with the UK, but boy, the UK questions are demands. And they're in English, and so I know it's not a problem. It's not a language barrier. When I get questions from like Sweden, it's very clearly a language barrier, and it's verbose. But UK, always short, very curt, and it's a demand. So anyways, so this guy's like, hey, between this one and this one, which one's more reliable? Or he says, tell me which one's more reliable. And I said, you get all the information. We've given you all the information. There you go. Do your own homework. What a rubbish answer was his reply. That's when he hit me at the wrong time. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to read you the answer I gave this guy. Let's see here. Message. Blah, blah, blah. I had it on my phone because I was telling a friend about it before. All right. Let's see. All messages. How I hate the Facebook. Facebook's changed their done. Here we go. We go to the done file. Here we go. All right. Here is my Kevin's had a really bad day. This is the kind of answer you're going to get. No swearing. No. When I'm really pissed, you get stuff like this. I go, typically when people ask, what's the most reliable PWC? I know that they have zero intent on adhering to a strict maintenance schedule necessary to keep their PWC in proper working order. So in effect, you're basically asking me which requires the very least upkeep. Any top-tier product can quickly fall apart if not properly treated. And the vast majority of buyers are unwilling to stay on top of their skis' suggested tasks. Regular oil changes, thorough cleaning, flushing after every use, regular service visits, etc. All three brands have particular issues that, if not considered, would quickly fall into disrepair and or total failure. Every one of them. So no, there's no satisfactory answer to your question, because in asking such implies your reluctance to be a diligent owner. And he just wrote back, thanks. So effectively, when you say, what's the most reliable? You're asking me which one requires me to do the least amount of work. That's what it means. That's what it means. Because anyone can make any one of these skis last decades. For example, all right, I'll give you two good examples of people that are here. Billy Duplessis is number one. Billy Duplessis has racked up more hours on his skis. An asshole is someone who is someone who asks for my advice and then just goes the opposite direction. So he doesn't qualify as an asshole. Let me go back to it. Billy Duplessis is easily one of the best examples of people who have bought high-performance machines that everyone on the planet wants to say are junk or have problems or break or whatever, and he's defied all the odds. Billy's literally writing, Gina's 2016 Kawasaki 310R, 2016 310R, and that's with the crappy pistons back before they changed them back from hypertectic to forged pistons, just turned 607 hours this Saturday. Billy's personal FZR, which is a 2015 with the bad head, has 620 hours on it. And he's got countless Sea-Doos with over 380 hours. Guys, is Billy a master mechanic who's always wrenching on these things? No, he's got a full-time job. Okay? He's not retired. He's not a millionaire. My point is that he stays on top of, hey, am I seeing it? Did I scratch the hull? Am I getting any damage to the impeller? Let me check the impeller. Let me check my pump. After every ride, do I clean my skis? Yes. Do I check fluids? Yes. do I check all the checklists that are in my manual. And I have a 2-hour episode of a live session where I read the manual to you. Okay. All you do is keep up on it. Just stay on top of your ski. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there lemons? Yes. 99% of failed skis are not lemons. They're not recalls. It's bad ownership. It's lazy ownership. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a guy who's here, and I wish I knew his name. He told me, I mean, he's probably in the comment section for all I know. Is that he reached out and he goes, I've got a 2006 GTX, like a 155 or like a, I don't even know what else it was available in 2006. I can't think of the top of my head. I got a 2006 GTX. It's not GTI. I got a 2006 GTX. He goes, I ride it every weekend. It's a fantastic ski. And he's like, dude, this is a great ski. It's fantastic. Naturally aspirated. Great gas mileage. I love it. I go, what's the condition like? And he goes, I take care of it. I clean it up. I don't leave it in the water. I take care of my stuff. He's like, I'm telling you. He's like, you just keep up on your skis. He says, guys, that's all you need to do when it comes to your watercraft. Stay on top of it. All right. If it's stored inside, the better. If it's stored outside, keep it covered. Make sure that it's protected. Okay, great. I've given you guys so many tips. Dealerships give you tips. Manual gives you tips. OE gives you tips. There's no shortage of people willing to pontificate on their opinion regarding how to maintain and take care of your personal watercraft. This is not a secret recipe. Okay? The problem is that humans are lazy. People are lazy. They want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of reward. That's it. That's it. What do I have to do to lose 5 pounds? Well, you should probably eat better and go walking every day and probably hit the gym once or twice a day or once or twice a week. Well, can I just take a pill? Or what if I just drink this shake? Or what if I do a colon cleanse or some other stupid thing? All right. What do I want to do if I want to quit smoking? Well, how about if I just shoot myself with a laser? Oh, yeah, we can cure you with a laser. So, I mean, we're always looking for an easy way. We're always looking for an easy way. It's just the truth of human nature. So it rattles me when people will drop $18,000 on a brand new watercraft and go, well, I'm just going to park it outside or park it underneath a tree. They will. They do. People do this. They do this. They buy it. They enjoy it for a couple weekends. And then the shine wears off. And then they park it. Guys, that's what happens. So, let's talk about all three brands. Because I know everyone wants to be brand loyal. And a lot of people are tuning into this episode because they want to hear me thrash on Yamaha or Cowie or Sea-Doo and say blah, blah, blah. They've got that problem. Okay. What do you want to start with? Cowie? Okay. Kawasaki with the advent of the 210 or the 310 engine from 2014 to 2017 used a cheap hypereutectic piston. Do they fail? I've seen failures. Do they fail often? No. What do you need to do to make sure they don't fail? Don't overheat it. Run super octane. Okay. Stay on top of your oil changes. Make sure that your cooling system isn't clogged. Okay. Make sure that your belts are in good health. Okay. Pull the seat off. See if there's water inside your hull. Oh, okay. Are you oiling down your engine compartment when you're done? There you go. Are you flushing it when you're done? Yes. Are you cleaning it off? Yes. How about all your weather stripping gaskets around the glove box and around the seat and around the front storage bin? How are they? Well, I don't know. Wipe them down with Armor All. Oh, okay. What's your battery charge look like? Oh, okay. Looks good. Basic Cowie maintenance. Naturally aspirated, even better. You don't have to worry about belts. You don't have to worry about superchargers. You just stay on top of your oil change. Make sure, occasionally, make sure your spark plugs are in good health. Okay. Flush. Use Salt Away. Well, I only ride freshwater. I don't give a rat's ass. Salt Away is what? $18? $25 on Amazon? You don't want to go to an actual boat shop and support a local business, which I am begging you to do instead of giving Jeff Bezos your money, but I'm trying to stay clear of politics on this one. Guys, Salt Away. You know why? Oh, well, I don't run. I don't run in salt water, Kevin. So why should I run it? You want to know why? It's a detergent. Guess what aluminum does? Aluminum rusts. And what does aluminum rust look like? Calcifies. It calcifies. There you go. Grease the pivot pushing. Every time you see a Zerk fitting, which is that little weird little nipple with a ball bearing in it, pump a little bit of grease into it once a year. Okay? You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go and pump a bunch of grease into it, but stay on top of it. Guess what? If you can't get your hands on a maintenance on an actual maintenance book, take it in and have it done. Well, it's expensive. Okay, then burn your ski. Set it on fire. Because that's what you're going to do. You're just as bad. Honestly, so many buyers are just as bad as some a-hole who goes out and buys a Dalmatian because their kids watch 101 Dalmatians and they're like, Daddy, we want one. Oh, let's get us a dog. And you're like, oh, okay. Turns out Dalmatians are the loudest, most hyperactive dogs on the planet. And you're like, this damn thing has been a pain in the ass for a year. So what do? You chain it up with 50 feet of chain in the backyard, and that dog just goes, burr, 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 and annoys the hell out of your neighbors, and you hate that dog, and your kids won't let you put a bullet in its head. So it's like, okay, what am I going to do? All right? You're an idiot buyer because you didn't do any sort of due diligence. You shouldn't own that dog. You live in an apartment complex instead of a house. Get rid of the damn dog. Donate it to charity. Put up a Facebook post going, we're looking for a home for this dog. All right? Same thing with jet ski owners. You go out there going, I want to be on the lake with all my friends. They look like they're having so much fun. Then you go out and you buy a jet ski and you're making payments on something you hate and you're not going to take care of it. Or you go out there occasionally and ride it. And then you go, okay, I'm done. Or this thing makes all sorts of noises. Well, have you done the oil change? No. Have you flushed it? No. Have you checked your spark plugs? No. What's your compression look like? I don't know what that means. Okay. If you're taking it to a dealership, I don't like dealerships. Dealerships screw people. Well, okay, let it rot in your backyard then, you moron. Okay. You're just as bad as the guy locking up the dog on a chain or in his apartment. You're just as bad as that guy. You're an irresponsible owner. I mean, I love seeing pictures of I took one of these pictures. I went to this is actually really funny. There's an O'Reilly's by my house. And the O'Reilly's, these guys, I got some good dudes at the O'Reilly's. I got some young guys who are into hot rods. I got some old boys who've been wrenching on stuff for a long time. I like pulling in the O'Reilly's, especially with the Charger. And I'm going into O'Reilly's for ATF, where it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to go get, a gallon of VR1 valvoline. Oh, okay. Or whatever. And I'm buying some rando thing. And I remember this was probably about 2 years ago. I pull into O'Reilly's and I shoot the bull with these old boys for a little bit. And one of the kids walks out with a customer. And I got my case of whatever, probably a case of brake clean, knowing me, because I use brake clean for everything and I buy it by the case. So because I'm a man and I clean my hands with brake clean like a man. So anyway, I'm walking out the door and I'm pulling my keys out of the, to put a case of brake clean in the trunk of the Charger. And this guy is standing there, and I took a picture of it, and I think I can dig it out of my phone. He's standing there and in his workout outfit. He's in an Under Armour shirt and some shorts, and he's got his, Under Armour running shoes or whatever the hell. He looks like he's sponsored by Under Armour. You're like, oh, whatever, loser. And I got black knuckles, and I mean my fingers I've scrubbed the crap out of it, but I still have all this stuff in my fingernails. But I snap a picture of this guy. He's standing there in his workout stuff, and there is a 40-something-year-old woman putting a new battery in his car. And I put up a Facebook post or an Instagram post. And I'm like, if I was this guy, I would be ashamed of myself. And I know, oh, you're being so masochistic. Oh, Kevin. Oh, what a masochist. Oh, not a masochist, but machismo. What's the word, guys? What am I thinking of? Being such a, I don't know, patriarchy. I don't know, shit. What's the freaking words that the leftists use? So, not pessimist. No. Pessimist is the world's going to end, which it's going to. Male chauvinist. I'm being a chauvinist. Thank you. I'm being chauvinistic. Because this woman, who turns out she drives a fixed roof, a red FRC Corvette. It's not a Z06, but it's an FRC Corvette. And she hot rods. I'm like, hell, that's bitching. Good for you. So anyway, she's putting the battery in this guy's, Hyundai SUV or whatever the hell it is. And he's just standing there. I'm surprised he didn't have a pumpkin spice latte, sipping on his pumpkin spice latte on his phone, listening to freaking, I don't know what the fruit balls listen to. I don't know, Ariana Grande, whatever. So I was just laughing. I'm sitting there now, mind you. I'm pulling up in a '69 Dodge Charger with a 535 stroker, making 700 pound-feet of torque, and I'm. Look at me. I'm wagging it pretty hard. But, look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm so important because I'm driving my Charger around. I'm like, no, it's because I pushed this car for 10 years and I'm finally getting to enjoy it. I'm going to drive the damn thing every day. And all 6 miles to the gallon, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. But anyways. So I just laughed because I was like, this guy can't change a battery in his own car. And he's having some middle-aged woman do it for him. Please tell me I'm not alone in seeing that this is a problem. All right. Whether it's a societal problem, whether he was raised by two moms, I don't know. I can't comment on it. I'm sorry. I might get tagged for being hateful, and I'm not trying to give hate speech. But I'm sorry. I'm like, I got a problem with this. I got a moral problem with this. Something just goes, oh, that's not right. Sorry. And guys, I'm telling you, my audience is 98.9% male. All right. I got like 1.1% females watching these videos. I know there's a couple here who watch it. And I'm not saying anything negative towards that. But if you're going to be any sort of diligent owner of a watercraft, I don't care if it's a used watercraft. I don't care if it's brand spanking new. I don't care if it's a 1973 400 stand-up, JS 400. Guys, my wife is forced to watch. That's funny. I don't care. Guys, you can make that thing run like a top if you just stay on top of it. Okay? But you got to know what your skill set is, and you got to operate within your skill set. And if you want to stretch yourself, you're going to be stretching yourself. You're going to be challenging yourself to do the work. If you don't want to do the work, you need to find a shop or a dealership with a service department that will do the work, and you need to be committed to it. It's a commitment. All right? My guy here, one of the guys here earlier said he's got like a 1990 Silverado he drives every day. Great. My 05 Ram, 270-something thousand miles, never failed me. The only time it ever failed me was I put the wrong transmission filter. I put the wrong transmission filter in. I put the 4x4 transmission filter in instead of the standard 2-wheel drive. And what it did is it 4-wheel drive has a deeper pan. So it lowers the filter down, and the filter was pressed up against the pan, and it starved the transmission, and I burned up third gear. So that was an expensive lesson. Have I paid to have someone do my transmission since then? Absolutely not. I learned my lesson, and I'll never do it again. And I service my transmission, I service my engine. I can do it because I am comfortable with that, because I am comfortable with my skill set in regards to the challenge of maintaining my truck. Okay, but when the AC goes out, I don't have the equipment to evacuate the system and recharge the system. So I have to go and have the AC fixed. Okay, that's my skill set, or that's my tool set. So for you guys who say, hey, I'm going to go buy a new Ultra or a new FX SVHO or a new GTX 300 or whatever the vehicle might be, you need to take an honest assessment of who's going to be doing the work. Am I going to be doing the work? Am I prepared to do the work? Do I have a place to do the work? Do I know how to do the work? If you don't, you may want to look at contingencies. That's the honest truth. And dealerships have service departments for a good reason. And guess what? If you are unsatisfied or dissatisfied with the service department that you have, you can go to a different one. I don't care if you drive 6 hours to go to a different one, because you know that the one 6 hours away is going to make sure your ski is running primo. So go to that one. It's okay. Not that I recommend driving 6 hours for anything, but as an exaggerated case, go do that one. Keep your skis running or don't own it at all. Seriously. It's a paperweight. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your money. Collect baseball cards or vigorously pick your nose. I don't care what you do. Just Joey, please see our latest review. Go to the review section and check our latest review. You'll have that answer. I'm going to answer your super chat once I'm done ranting, because I'm in a really crappy mood, and this one is Elite. Okay, it's just a compliment. It's just a thank you. Okay. Took 10.5 months to get my GTX 300. I lost hope after being jerked around by my now fired sales rep. I got to use it a bit without the aftermarket stuff, but I'm thrilled. Been quite a story. Thanks for the info and the shirt. You're welcome. I'm glad we can be helpful. So I'll drive 6 hours for Mudbug. I'll drive 12 hours for Mudbug. I already have. I do it all the time. I'm probably going to be doing it in October. So I talked about Cowie. Small things you got to look out for. Okay. Yamaha. Naturally aspirated. It'll last you until the cows come home. Here's the problem. Yamahas are painted with soft automotive paint. The hulls are painted in automotive paint. The decks are painted in automotive paint. And they scratch. They scratch easily. And scratches can lead to water intrusion, which can lead to delamination, especially with the Nano XL2. Does that mean that you cannot enjoy a Nano XL2 hull? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You just need to be smart enough not to run your skis up beaches and up rocky shores and run into shit. That's it. Take care of your stuff. Be aware that your ski is painted. That's it. That's it. You want to know why the vast majority of hull warranty claims for delaminated hulls were bounced back? You want to know why? Because they could look at it with all the pictures that the dealership would send them, and the dealership would actually say, hey, listen, this looks like an impact. They write an email with notes. It's not Yamaha corporate. It's typically the dealer who's like, hey, guys, this guy hit something. And I talked to this guy for an hour, and he's a total dingling. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. So all the people who go onto Facebook are like, Yamaha they won't stand by their product because the hull delaminated, and I didn't do anything. And the service writer or the manager of that dealership who wrote the email to the claims department is like, this jackwagon hit a log at 60 miles an hour. Here's where you can tell. Oh, all the fiberglass is caved in a round shape. I'm telling you. Okay? 9 times out of 10, it's because people are dumb. Never underestimate the stupidity of the people. Just dumb. Okay? And I know I didn't do anything, and it broke, and I didn't do anything. You sound like my 5-year-old. All right? A shelf gets ripped off the wall, and we go running up the stairs to look at their room, and they're standing there and go, we don't know what happened. And then you find out the kid was freaking recreating the beginning of Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone off the freaking shelf. Oh, what happened? I wasn't doing anything. Okay. That's why Facebook is a joke. Because everyone goes on there. It's Festivus every day. Let me air my grievances for the world to see. Okay, great. Now, are there some issues? Yeah, okay. I mean, there's reasons they improve stuff. Cylinder head, there's an improvement for 2021 because the SVHO cylinder head in certain instances had thin castings and they would crack right at the bolt, the head stud, where it tightened down, and that crack would run right into the perch for the spark plug, and it would start to arc, and you get misfire. Or if it cracked the other direction, you got water. Okay, and they're aware of it, and they are addressing it with some people who have had problems. Does that mean people need to go run around screaming with their hair on fire going, oh my God, they all failed? No. And if you're concerned, go to your dealership and say, I'm concerned. And the dealership's like, okay, we'll pull the valve cover off. We'll take a look at it. We'll get some mics. We'll check it out. Okay, great. They'll do it. They'll happily do it. It's going to cost you. It's not going to be free. Sorry, Bernie Sanders. It's not going to be free. Their time is worth money. All right? But if they diagnose it correct and there is a problem, the fix is going to be warranted because you didn't tighten the head bolts. They did. There's going to be a service charge to check, to diagnose. That's always the case. But then the warranty work on your ski will be covered. That's how warranty works. Very rarely does the initial diagnosis come for free. Okay. So then, let's get to Sea-Doo. Biggest soft spot on a Sea-Doo is the carbon seal. Biggest. Number one soft spot on a Sea-Doo is the carbon seal. Carbon seal is a wear item. Just like the wear ring, just like the impeller, it's a wear item. What does a wear item mean? Well, what are wear items on your car? Brake pads, tires. Those are wear items. Your carbon seal is like the tires on your car. It is. It wears out. It's a wear item. Not wear with an H. Wear as in W-E-A-R. It wears out. All right? Just like the pump. Ugh. Brain fart. Totally having a brain fart. Just like the wear ring in the pump. Okay. It's literally got the word wear in it. So, didn't they add carbon seals on Sparks? Weren't they? They weren't there. They were sealed. Are there carbon seals on? Guys, you stumped me. I don't know. Are carbon seals on Sparks? I've never actually looked. I didn't think they were. Yes, 2020 and up. That's funny. At the worst possible time, they added carbon seals to the Spark. It's like when they were having the worst problems with the carbon seal. Anyway, that's funny. Well, then you had all the GTIs go to Polytech hulls in 2020, so that makes sense. And that was the new design. Okay. Squiggy writes, Kevin, if you do your own maintenance on a new ski, how would I prove I did it on an extended warranty? Ooh, good question. Got 1 year plus 3 extra years, and I felt I need to take it into service departments to prove it is done correctly. Is this not true? Well, here's how you, I'll tell you how you prove it. Is you wait till you get the alarm to change your oil, and you can't scrub that code. So you change your oil and you bring it in. You go, guys, you can see the oil filter's new. You can see that the oil's new. Can you please reset the code? And they'll go, oh, okay. And they'll reset the code. And they'll have a log of you going in there. You also have a receipt for having them go in and check your code. So you can do that. And you can always also just keep a log, like a little old man with his old 68 New Yorker. Just keep a log of hours, oil change, and how much oil you put in, what brand of oil you put in. You can keep the receipts if you went and bought the oil and bought the oil change kit from Green Hulk or your dealership or whomever. You can keep that too. Oh, there you go. Everyone's saying keep a log and save receipts. Listen to the people. Appreciate the super chat. Everyone here is like, yeah, same thing I'm saying. So, yeah, there's wear items. You got to be aware of the wear items, and you got to be aware of the soft spots. What are the soft spots? Okay. I don't ascribe to the hate and the fear mongering on Facebook. I don't. All right. Everyone's got an axe to grind. Everyone's got an axe to grind, and Facebook seems to be the place everyone brings it, and it just sucks. Sea-Doo sucks. Yamaha sucks. Cowie sucks. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone has the same crap to say. All right. And it's all crap. It's all crap. I've seen Sea-Doos last for 20 years. I've seen brand new Sea-Doos fail within hours of getting them off the lot. Okay. Well, how is that possible? How is that operator error? I don't know. You could sub the damn thing. You could jump it so damn hard that you break a motor mount, and all of a sudden the motor actually kinks itself and misaligns, and now you're grinding the hat into the carbon seal misaligned, and now you're oblonging the hole on the carbon seal, and now your ski sinks within hours of use. Why? You weren't doing proper break-in, and you jumped the damn thing 30 feet in the air. Okay. Misoperation. Poor operation. Yamaha. I've seen beautiful examples of FCRs that don't have a scratch on them, and they got hours. They have 250 hours on them, but they look immaculate. Why? Because the guy knows not to run up the bunks at 100 miles an hour. He knows not to go and run up the bunks of his trailer. He knows not to run up the damn beach. He knows not to grind it up on a rocky shore. He knows better. He anchors it somewhere, ties a rope to it or something. It's easy. Stays on top of his oil changes. Stays on top of his flushing. Stays on top of changing out spark plugs. Changes his air filter. Made some modifications where some things were looking a little sketchy. Like, oh, hey, the flame arrestor is kind of looking like it's kinking. Well, do I want to put it back in or just put the Riva Delete kit in? I'll put the Riva Delete kit in. That's easier. Okay, boom. Well, that's not an issue anymore. Okay, great. Oh, hey, listen, I broke the latch on my glove box door. Well, I'm going to go to Riva or I'm going to go to greenhulk.net and I'm going to order a replacement. And it shows up 3 weeks later and you screw it on. And you're like, okay, it looks brand new. Fantastic. They stay on top of it. They don't cheap out. Oh, hey, this latch isn't latching. Well, guess what? There's two 10 millimeter there's two 10 millimeter bolts holding the latch in. Well, if I loosen them up, latch it, and now it clicks nicely, all I have to do is release the latch, put my thumb on it, hold the latch in place, get my box and wrench, tighten it, close it, see if it latches just as nice. Okay, I've just aligned the latch. Oh my goodness, Kevin's a wizard. How did he think of that? It's not hard. Guys, it's just stop. Long day. Yeah, 10 mil. What did I say? Did I say something wrong, Martin? I don't know. I thought I said 10 mil. Anyway, It has been a long day. So, yeah, common sense that is as rare as a superpower. That is very true. Okay. But again, I mean, and I'm not asking everyone to be a master mechanic. I'm not. I'm really not. Because that's an impossible thing to ask. It really is. There are people, some of the smartest people I know, honestly, I mean, some of the really financial. I have a friend of mine, brilliant with finances. The guy is 2 years older than me, multimillionaire. Lives on the other side of the lake as I do. I'm on the poor peninsula. He's on the rich peninsula. All right. We got someone we got to delete. And put user in timeout. Okay. Thank you very much. You know what? Let's just hide user from channel. There you go. Toodaloo. You're out of here, 69mega.com. At least I had to sign up to be a subscriber. That's kind of nice. So, okay. So what do you do if you're not mechanically inclined? Well, my point is that my buddy who's super wealthy, and he's got amazing cars and a beautiful home, and I love the guy. I think he's great. He's literally come to my house and he goes, next time you're building an engine, can you invite me over? I'd like to learn how to do it. I'm like, okay. Because it's science fiction to him. And I'm like, if we could trade half of our skills and you could teach me how to invest wisely, I'd be forever in your debt. I'd help you build whatever engine you want. I'm like, dude, I love that. Just God doesn't give with both hands. Not everyone has every skill. Okay, great. So my point in all of this is if you are interested in buying a watercraft, or you currently have one and you realize, I should probably be better on it, then the easiest thing is the manual. And I know everyone's like, dude, I don't like the manual. As a parent of young kids, everyone's like, man, I wish there was a manual. I don't think you do. You want to know why? You wouldn't read it. You wouldn't read it. So it's kind of a lost cause. I mean, how much trash do I get for telling people to read their manual? Okay. I mean, how many guys will buy a brand new ski, fork over $15,000 to have some high performance shop work on it? They go out there and they go 85, 89 miles an hour. They go screaming fast and they blow their garbage up. Why? Because they suck up a freaking pair of shorts, or they suck up a plastic bag or a rope, or they're operating in shallow water and they grind the hell out of their impeller, or they embed they run up on the sand, they're in 1 foot of water and the carbon seal's full of sand and the carbon seal totally fails. Just because you got the money doesn't mean you got the brains. Just because you got the money doesn't mean you have the brains. And most of these people don't have the brains to hold a bucket, to hold a gallon of water. They just don't have the sense. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind. So, which ski is most reliable? Which ski is most reliable? The ski that you're willing to put the work into. It's a crappy answer. It's not the answer you want. You want me to say Yamaha or Cowie or Sea-Doo or Honda or Tiger Shark. Okay? They all have their warts. They all have soft spots that you got to be careful of. They all do. Okay? Some are more prevalent than others, but if you take care of your machine, it will love you back. Okay? That's the God's honest truth. It's the God's honest truth. So when people ask you which one's the most reliable, I say, You're asking me which one requires the least amount of effort to keep running. That's what you're saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. So, I don't know. I don't have the patience for people who are looking for a get fit and lose fat pill. All right. I'd like to get fit and lose fat. Guess what? That means I got to get off my ass and quit eating junk food. That's what it means. All right. Guilty. So that's all it is. All right. Henry's got a super chat. Super chat. Is an extended warranty worth it on a super jet? And I'm thinking about getting the Jet Blaster to go with the super jet. Do you think it's dumb to get both skis? No, absolutely not. In fact, I think it's fantastic to get both skis. I would totally get both skis. All right. You're not looking at getting a big old runabout. You're looking at having a total blast. All right. Superjet, I really like it. Like if I was to, well, to be honest, that's not the stand-up I'd buy if it was me. But the Superjet is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it once I learned how to get back on it in deep water. And you can't get back on it like you do a Kawasaki SXR. You cannot chin lift it and pull yourself up. What you do instead is you, again, I'm 6'2", 240 pounds. You might be 5'8" and 140 pounds. I don't know. But how I get back on it and how Scott Watkins told me to get back on it was to put my hands on the rails and push that ski underwater far enough for me to tuck my knees in there. And then once my knees were in deep enough, pretty much almost to my ankles, so I'm completely on my shins, then I could lean my weight forward over the handlebars, over the chin pad, plug in the lanyard, fire it up, and just get a little bit of momentum. And I could two-step, foot, and then readjust, and then off I go. So I really enjoyed the Superjet. I wish I had more time on it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Superjet was more enjoyable to me to ride than the SXR. I felt the SXR was too fast. I felt the SXR did not slow down fast enough because it coasted. You literally let go of the throttle. You chop the throttle. That thing will coast for 80 feet. Just woo, like a torpedo. And that's not a stand-up to me. That's not how a stand-up behaves. Because I want to chop it. When I chop the throttle, I drop the nose down. I get a little bit more hull in the water. I get back on it, and I can bite and pull around a corner. SXR 1500, or now it's renamed the SXR 160, just wasn't doing the stuff that I wanted, or at least what I got accustomed to. And what I've learned over the last 4 years, and once the aftermarket is caught up with the SXR, was it's really an acquired taste, and you really have to get used to it. Okay, fair enough. Superjet, people who ride Superjet, my racer friends are like, oh, well, that needs a lot of work and blah, blah, blah. But casual riders love it. Jet Blaster is a lot of fun, man. Jet Blaster is a lot of fun. And it's effectively an EXR, except the only thing is that with the trim control, there's actually no true neutral. It's a small detail. I think it's only like a 5 degree or a 3 degree off of neutral. But it's fun. Do I care about doing wheelies? No. Do I care about having my daughter on the back and doing figure eights until she falls off? Yes. So that's why I like the Jet Blaster. The Jet Blaster is the old school kind of rowdy that we all had in the 90s. So that's the fun of the Superjet. Of the Jet Blaster, of the Blaster. All right. So, doop. I didn't see one write in big bold letters the question, and I don't see any more super chats. Got a lot of questions. Can we get we have almost 200 people. Can we get the likes to 100, and I'll start answering some of these other smaller questions? Let's get the likes to 100 just for the algorithm so that YouTube is happy. We want to please our master, the algorithm. All right. Let's see here. Questions. Questions. I didn't see any big questions. Good. We're at 107 likes. Okay. Let's see here. I think people from England think Kevin is a public servant. This is community service for crimes that will not be aired. Comment. You should interview Billy Duplessis on this topic. That guy has hundreds of hours on each platform. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. I have paid for a subscription service that is basically effectively the next tier of these podcasts, where I will be able to split screen and have me on one end and someone on the other end, and we'll be able to have conversations. I'll actually be able to interview people, and I'm unfamiliar with the software, and I want to do dry run practices before I do an actual like Sunday night session and fiddle fart around with the program and see if it fails or not. So effectively, I'm chicken shit about doing it, and I've already paid up front for the damn service for the year. What's the name of the service? StreamYard. If any of you guys are familiar with StreamYard, please email me if you want to coach me on how to use it so that we can go to the next level. Because I want to have a visual template with the logo that kind of spools for a minute or two before I start talking, and then be able to bring people in. I'm not tech savvy. All right. I'm doing this from my home office with a microphone and a web camera, and I'd like to make this show better. But quite frankly, I don't have the mental bandwidth to dedicate into learning a whole new thing. So if someone wants to help me out, email me. If you guys know how to use StreamYard, help me out. Let's make the show better. Because I'd love to bring people in. I've already talked to Jerry Gaddis and Greg Gaddis. Greg would sit down for interviews more than Jerry. Jerry's out fishing. He's sick and tired of your guys' crap, and I don't blame him. And I'm like, hey, listen, I could get Jesus Garcia on this. I could get Dave Bambus on this. Those guys would jump at it. I could get Chris Landis on this. I could get a bunch of racers. I could get a whole bunch of racers. I don't know if I could get a whole hour with Chris McCluggage, but I could probably get maybe a half an hour or so with Chris, as long as I give his dealership a bunch of advertising. I could get a whole bunch of different racers on here. We could talk about offshore racing. We could talk about close course racing. We could talk about high performance. We could get a bunch of guys that I respect. There's people that I'm sure you guys want me to get on here that I really do not respect and I don't want on here. I don't want to give them plugs. I don't really care. I just don't care. Because guess what? They're going to be gone in 5 years. And if I'm still here in 5 years doing this, I haven't sold this magazine, or I haven't just retired and start flipping cars, yeah, I'm just not interested. So, yeah, but I'm happy to make this thing better. I've already paid for it. So I named a whole bunch of people that I do respect, and I got lots of them. So Chris Stone, I don't think I can shake John Tree any more than I already have. You go ahead and ask him and see if that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to bring guest people in for this show. I'd love to. And ultimately, it would just be questions and people asking questions. Typically, if I brought a guest in, we would talk about a topic. We'd agree upon a topic. Like, hey, let's talk about this. Oh, okay, cool. And then we would talk about, It's like, okay, hey, Greg Gaddis, let's talk about the evolution of the GP 1800. Let's talk about all the changes they made to the GP 1800. And let's talk about how the current GP 1800R SVHO responds to aftermarket parts. Okay, cool. And we'd just go down the rabbit hole for an hour on that. And then we'd spend maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes taking questions. And we'll skip over all the questions like, well, I don't want to pay for Riva, so what about Torch Racing? It's like, no, we gave you what we talked about. We're not going to answer your pedantic, I want to cut corners stuff. So I've had these conversations and they're like, dude, I don't really want to do that, but I might do this. And, where do you want to go? And I sat here and I'm like, dude, I want to be like Joe Rogan. We just sit around and drink and smoke weed and talk about Bigfoot. I'm joking. All right. So, let's see. Did I see any other big questions? I don't see anyone saying question. Yeah, it's luck. Mark. One guy's lucky, and the other guy's unlucky. I'm like, no, one guy's careful, and the other guy luck. I mean, don't get me wrong. Luck, I won't say luck exists, but it rains on the good as much as it does the bad. So, good things happen to bad things happen to good people, and bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people. All right. Stability as in fishing from it. ST line. What does ST line ask? The most stable watercraft to get up and walk around on is going to be the ST3 hull, which is the full-size Fish Pro RXTX GTX. All right. Without a doubt. GTI is stable. I can stand, my fat ass can stand in one foot well, and it won't roll over. It's pretty stinking stable. That's why the GTI base or GTI platform is used for the Fish Pro Scout. If it wasn't stable, they wouldn't use it. That's why there's not a fishing spark. All right. Cowie 310 must grease pivot bushing for the tensioner very regularly. Of course, Billy has a Zerk added for easy maintenance. Supercharger on the Cowie. Fog it. I see, man. Y'all know I'm just testy because I've got zero sleep and I've been traveling for 4 days. And my wife's like, I'm really surprised you're doing a podcast tonight. And I was like, yeah, whatever. They'd cry. You guys would cry if I didn't. No, I'm joking. All right. Kevin, you talk highly of the GP 1800R and FX models, but I've noticed a couple of your videos look like you have a Sea-Doo parked in your garage. Why? Because Sea-Doo gave me one. Sea-Doo gives me a jet ski every year for a year. Cowie gives me one when they can. Yamaha typically says you got it for a couple days. I live 3.5 hours from Kennesaw, Georgia, so it's like, okay, cool. I'll drive down, grab it, and hit that lake, and I'll be back on Monday. Okay, great. Right now, they can't. For like the last 2 years, they're like, we have to fulfill orders. Like, no media is getting any of these. No media is getting any units from Yamaha because they're like, we have to get these out here right now. Which I'm like, dude, by all means, go right ahead. I understand. I'm not some a-hole. I totally understand. Well, I am an a-hole, but I do understand. Okay. And that was from Joey Seabrook. Joey Seabrook coming in with a request. All right. I don't see any questions. That's fine because I want to go to bed. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. 'Cause I had himself a drink about an hour ago, and it's gone straight to my head. Name the movie. Name the movie that song is from. It's a shanty. Who's going to get 2 stickers for naming that movie? Jaws. Ray Orvin, email me. All right. Name the 2 men who are singing the song. Actors. Just for fun. Ghostbusters. Screw you. Name the 2 actors. Name the 2 actors who were singing that song. Someone will also get 2 stickers if they can name the 2 actors. In Jaws, in the galley of the orca, began singing that song. And Rob Schneider was not one of them. It wasn't John Schneider. He was Bo Duke on Dukes Hazzard. Richard Dreyfuss is 1. Robert Shaw is 2. But 2 different people answered. So I'm not splitting that up. It was supposed to be someone's supposed to have written both of those. But it was Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw. Very good. Okay, I got more movie trivia for you. Everyone Googled. Robert Shaw. Broski did it. Yeah, but dude, it was right there in front of you. I can't give you that. Damn, half right. Yes. Richard and Robert. Dick and Bob. Robert Shaw famously played a blonde Russian, it's a big hint, a blonde Russian hitman named Granitsky in which James Bond movie? Robert Shaw played a villain in a James Bond movie. Which movie was it? And if you think I'm joking about giving out envelope or giving out, I am giving out stickers because I don't want to answer jet ski stuff. I'm burned out and this is fun. Nope. It's not for your eyes only. From Russia with Love from Broski, and I know you went to IMDb, but I don't care. Broski, Broski, you got to email me your address. You get From Russia with Love. By the way, it was a terrible book. Terrible book. You go 110 pages before they even mention James Bond's name. It's terrible. All right. The original Ian Fleming books were trash because the Brits are terrible novel writers. Yeah, well, I also have a American literature degree. So, all right. More movie trivia. People are tuning out. They're like, I didn't sign up for this crap. I don't want to do this. All right. All right. You guys want to do more James Bond? I can do more James Bond. I can do James Bond trivia till the cows come home. Except for the new stuff, because I don't watch woke trash. As I'm on my phone answering text messages. I could do Ferris Bueller if you want. Amazon Women on the Moon. That'd just be a Mystery Science Theater episode. All right, question. You think the Apex will be worth it? No, I do not. I do not think the Apex is worth it. I think the Apex is a limited run model. Some people are going to be excited about it. But if the steering dampener is effective, it will find its way later onto consequential X Series vehicles. So you guys who are absolutely champing at the bit to get it, because you think it's the new whiz bang and it's going to make you a better rider, it won't. Become a better rider by practicing and going out and riding. And Roger Moore. Roger Moore was the lead in what British TV serial prior to becoming James Bond? Come on. Roger Moore starred in a TV series. The Saint from Nick. Very good, Nick. Woo! We're giving stickers away. Okay. Bonus question. Who starred in the Hollywood remake movie The Saint? Based on the same show. I can. It's trademarked, and I don't want Google to spank me on that one. Come on. Who played in the movie? Val Kilmer, Dave Pate. Attaboy. Dave Pate, you're killing it. All right. Question. What do you think about the new outboards that BRP made for their pontoon and fishing boats? I really don't have an opinion on them. Primarily because, honestly, I don't know. Technically, I don't know a lot about outboard technology. I know they're adapting a lot of the RX. Kevin, what's my email? info@watercraftjournal.com. info@watercraftjournal.com. It is not a taco. A taco is with a tortilla. It is bread and meat. It is, by definition, a sandwich. And there is a blog titled, Is a Hot Dog a Sandwich? They have a YouTube channel as well, and they do some fun stuff. Well, here's the most interesting thing. One of the most prevalent criticisms of the new Rotax designs was the weight distribution of that engine being horizontal rather than vertical, which puts a lot of unsprung weight on the transom. And that was a big concern for some people. Highest grossing movie of 1997. Highest grossing movie of 1997. Titanic, yeah. Very good. Yeah, it was Titanic. Titanic was 882 feet long. Question, what about the hydrofoil board they tested? That is called the Rise. It's the Sea-Doo Rise. It's electric. And there's not a lot of information out there because it is expected to be a 2024 model. So they are not they're not being really forthright with everything on it because, quite frankly, it's not done. But they wanted to show that they had something electric coming out. How long did it take it to sink? It struck just past 1 o'clock. It took over an hour and a half, to my understanding. It took an hour, it took about an hour and 33 minutes, if I remember right. 2.5 hours. No, I think it's an hour and a half. It hit at 11:40. But how long did it take? My understanding was that it took an hour and a half. Let's look it up. That's a very common question right here on Google. Titanic sank over the course of 2 hours and 40 minutes after hitting the infamous iceberg. I was way off. Okay, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Took 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink. I have Titanic toilet paper. Yeah. Missed it by 10 minutes. How many people died? It should be 1,213. $1,347. I was off by 130 people. 135 people. All right. Someone's just looked up facts and they're just asking me questions. I'm like ballpark, but guess not. Guess not as good as I thought it was. Project M on the Manitou. So what's up with Project M? That's the Ghost Drive. That is their silent drive new propulsion system. Which jet ski sinks first when hitting an iceberg? Kawasaki, Yamaha, or Sea-Doo? Depends on which model of which. It's really ambiguous. Definitely T, Zach. Definitely T. Where is the wreck located? It's just North Atlantic. It's off isn't it like 3 hours east of Newfoundland? South of Newfoundland. South of Newfoundland. Okay. Yes, Catalina is the desktop and one of my places to ski. Yes, and that is in fact the Catalina iOS software. They use that picture. That is the very south, or no, that is the north end of. That is the very northern end of Catalina. If you look on the other side of this berm, that's going to be Twin Harbors. And where the outcrop is, that is called Ring Rock. Inside of there is the entrance to Avalon Harbor. Yes, it's 12 miles. It's 2 miles underwater. All right. How many souls died on the Edmund Fitzgerald? Being a Gordon Lightfoot fan, I should know this. Wasn't it 18? Was it 18 people died on the Edmund Fitzgerald? $29 people? There was that many people on it? I'm just looking up random crap. 29 men. I should have known that. 29. It's in my damn song. You're Pat Benatar. I just watched the documentary. Okay. Guys, we're wasting time. This is ridiculous. April 6th, 1812. April 15th, excuse me. April 15th, 1912. All right. It hit. It hit. It struck the iceberg April 14th. It sank. It sank on the 15th. All right. And exactly 1 year later to the day, Woodrow Wilson gave us federal income tax. And then 4 years after that, he gave us the Federal Reserve. No, the Federal Reserve was the same time as income tax. No. Federal Reserve was 1917. 1913, April 15th, was federal income tax. Damn it, Wilson. Where are the majority of the dead buried from the Titanic? Well, isn't there a grave in Ireland? Is it in Ireland? No. It's not in Ireland. No, it's shoot. There is a grave dedicated to a lot of the dead for the Titanic. Yeah, Cork, Ireland, Halifax. That's where it is. Really? But there are graves on both sides of the. Yeah, there's got to be, because I know there's a British one. I know there's a British one. Yeah, Kevin's brain is not moving like the gears. No, they're grinding. All right, we're done. This is ridiculous. What is the deadliest plane crash? Ooh. Well, is that including the plane that disappeared at 9/11? That's two planes. Tenerife, 1970. Was that the Russian plane The Tenerife? 400 people. Oh, it was Air France. Oh, no way. Okay. No way. It was a Concorde? No, it was two 747s colliding. Okay. Yeah, I got to look it up now. That's interesting. Okay, guys, we're done. I'm goofing off. Two 747s. Oh my gosh. And a Pan Am hit on the runway. Oh my gosh, that is gnarly. All right, guys, this was fun. Everyone who won stickers for Stupid Trivia, I've got stickers and envelopes ready. I'll send them out. Some people won stickers last week, and I literally mailed them out today when I got home because I failed to do it before I left.